Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Moss Jackson. Welcome to another episode, live video of Mondays with Moss. So my focus in my coaching of people has to do with helping people to live as successful and happy a life as possible. Know what they want, go for it, recognize obstacles, hopefully not take their disappointments too personally, bounce back, get back on the path, and continue forward. Pretty simple model, but it seems to work for most people. So anyway, I want to tell you about something that happened last week. In a way, I could talk about this as the light and dark side of our mind, the light and dark side. But it's really about triggers. So I gave a talk on this site a number of weeks ago about triggers and getting emotionally hijacked. And so last week, I had an experience where I got triggered. What is a trigger? Well, if you picture a rifle is pretty long, maybe, it's long, okay? 3-4 feet maybe. And there's a little trigger. Now, inside the rifle is ammunition, which carries an explosive charge, which when the trigger is pulled, the charge explodes and a cartridge, a bullet flies out and hits a target. Well, a trigger for us as human beings is anything. It could be someone looking disdainfully. It could be a criticism. It could be asking a girl out for a date and the girl saying no. It could be making a sales call and you don't get the call. It could be your kid's not doing what you want them to do. These all could be triggers. The trigger is just something that happens. There's no relevance, really. The important thing is what happens when the trigger makes the bullet explode, cartridge explode, and there's a missile a flying inside of you, smashing into you. So a trigger is something happens, and then you have an emotional hijack or a really intense reaction. So a few days ago, I think I wrote in my post on Wednesday last week that I went to get a blood test, and the blood test came back on Friday. And my doctor, about 5 o'clock at night, when he was leaving the office, sent me a voicemail saying, "Your thyroid number is abnormal." It triggered me. That word abnormal triggered me. I don't really get a message about being abnormal. Okay, so I got that message. The message didn't say, "You have a number that's a little bit above average. I think you should look into it. Give me a call on Tuesday, or you may want to run it by your general practitioner." No. It was just a curt message called, "Your thyroid number is abnormal." Anyway, so I had a reaction. Like I could feel the explosion in my body. My mind went to, "Oh shit, what is this? I have to get my thyroid taken out. Maybe it's cancer. Oh, God, the thyroid is a really important gland. How can I function without a thyroid? Oh, God, how is it going to take me from work? Take me away from work? Take me away from my family? My time down the shore?" I could feel myself breathing rapidly. I was having a little bit of anxiety. Not a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, I was about an 8 with anxiety. So I did several things to manage the anxiety. I had to manage it because I couldn't get in touch with my doctor. He was away. Everything was shut down. No doctors are around. So it's getting through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. So Tuesday I went to see my GP, okay? And he told me basically all it was a elevation in T3. T3, one of the thyroid measures, average is around 22 to 35. So I was at 39. So it was a little bit above average. Nothing to panic about. But I didn't know that. So when I got the message from my specialist on Friday, and he said abnormal, my body and my mind rushed to throw me into anxiety and what am I going to do? So I want to tell you the 3 things I did. I got grounded and self-regulated. Number 2, I practiced perspective or realistic optimism. And 3, I took some responsible actions. Again, I got grounded myself. I took I thought about what's a way of looking at this to keep me focused and not out of control. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Because often anxiety throws us into catastrophic thinking in the future. I did not want to do that. And 3, I took responsibility. What action could I take? So what happened basically was when I got the message, I thought about, oh, I just got triggered. I got triggered by this message, the word abnormal. And based upon some blood work that came back. So I noticed it. I noticed anxiety, felt it in my body, felt it in my abdomen, my digestive system. I think that's where I feel anxiety. Where do you feel anxiety? In your head, the back of your neck, throat, your chest, your stomach. I tend to get in my digestive system. So I located it and I gave it a score of 1 to 10. I was about an 8 when I first heard it. Then I went into taking action and getting grounded. I said to myself, first of all, do some breathing. Because I know doing slow, deep breathing, breathe in for 4, hold for 4 perhaps, and breathe out for at least 6 with a sigh. You do that 10 to 20 times, your body will start to relax. Why? Because it kicks off what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where the relaxation response is. So I did that, just to get myself grounded. Then I asked myself, is my anxiety a fact or a story? Thought to myself, what is the fact? Well, the fact is I got a message. Your thyroid number is abnormal. That's the fact. Everything else I was thinking was a story. All that catastrophizing. What's going to happen? The what if. When I realized that, I said, oh, okay. My mind is telling me a story because that's how the mind is wired. The mind is wired to tell us a scary story. And you may ask the question, why? Why does it come up with a scary story at least 80% of the time? Well, it comes up for that because it's trying to protect us. It just doesn't know what's really going on. It hears the word abnormal and it jumps to the false conclusion, danger. So I watched my mind. I did some tracking. So I did self-regulation first to breathe. I set up an appointment with my general practitioner. I got that the first thing Tuesday morning. And I framed it now as, okay, this is manageable. If I know I'm just telling myself a story, listen to your mind, but don't believe it. Okay, I said to Henry, which is the nervous, scared part of my mind, Henry, what do you got to say to me? What are you worried about? And I watched Henry really go into a panic attack. I said, Henry, it's okay. It's okay. You don't know what's going on. You're reacting to the word abnormal. I don't know what's going on, Henry, but I'm going to find out. I'm a healthy, vital, resilient, action-oriented person. And when I find out, then I'll decide whether I'm going to worry. Why worry about things that aren't happening? Okay? Fear. The acronym is false expectations appearing real. So all I knew, I heard the word abnormal. I was having some physical reaction. It came on me in a tenth of a second. And then I decided to manage it. So I self-regulated by getting grounded and breathing. I said to myself, this too shall pass. I'll talk to my doctor on Tuesday. So manage it between now and Tuesday. And 3, I took responsibility by talking to my wife about it, continuing to breathe whenever I felt tense, appreciating Henry trying to help me, but not very helpful, because the mind in these cases is not very helpful. What's more helpful is to take perspective and think about an action plan. So I distracted myself during the weekend. I painted, did a lot of reading, hung out on my deck down the beach, took a walk, went shopping a little bit, listened to music, did a little more painting. I kept thinking to myself, okay, I can't do anything, so let it go. And it was interesting, even though I had no control and I was uncertain, and I did not know what was going to happen. I know that because I was reading a book recently by Gabor Taba, I think, about the hungry ghost, about addiction. And in it, he talks about the roots of anxiety, one of which is uncertainty, not having enough information. What was the third? I don't remember. I forgot. But anyway, that was very helpful because it gave me a frame of reference. So I gave myself a frame of reference. I don't know what's going on. What can I do? What control can I take? Like in AA, they often talk about know what you control and know what you don't control. Take action in the area where you have control and let it go. Trust the God or trust the Spirit. So I trust it. I'll take care of it by hanging out with people I love, who love me, do things I like, don't think much. If I hear Henry say, Henry thinks, I know you're concerned, I'm taking care of it, Henry. I called our doctor, the GP. I'm doing the breathing. I have realistic optimism, and I'm distracting myself with activities I like. So I went to see my GP on Tuesday, and the news was simply a MOS. You have a slight elevation in T3. It's a thyroid indicator. All your other thyroid indicators are fine. Liver's fine. Kidneys are fine. You're doing fine. Now that closed the door. Wasn't that great? It closed the door. Henry shut up. He went someplace for a while until the next trigger comes along. I know Henry's going to show up again with, see, told you so, danger, danger. But right now, there's no explosion. I am fine. I'm just giving you my personal story because I often talk to you about your triggers. You're getting emotionally hijacked. You believing the story in your mind, helping you to self-regulate, to breathe, to be realistically optimistic, and to find some other action steps you can take. The whole last 3 months have been talking to you about action steps you can take to kind of regulate yourself and get on with the important part of your life. In other words, navigate your life. Do not be a survivor or a victim to it. Well, that's it. So hopefully this week you won't have too many triggers. But my guess is at least once during the week, maybe several times even during the day, you're going to get triggered. So notice your trigger, locate it in your body. Oh, there it is again. Hi, Henry. Give it a name. Give it a level 1 to 10. Breathe into it. Probably the best thing you can do is take about 20 really slow, deep breaths. 4 in, hold for 4. And breathe out for 6 with a sigh. Okay? Hope this is helpful to you. It was helpful to me. I'm glad I know this stuff because I can take care of myself when the trigger goes off, but I don't have to let the missile smash into me and do too much damage. Okay? Be well, guys. See you in a week.